Welcome back to the show. Just joined us is still Daybreak Africa, and I trust that you really had a very lovely time watching our reports. But now it's time to go straight to our discussion for today. Today, we are going on a discussion that's maybe a bit sensitive, maybe a bit tough, because trust me, all through the time when the reports were playing, we were having a very tough argument here in the studio about it. But then we bring it to your tables actually, and I understand the fact that also on the social media space, it's been very, 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 very turbulent, talking about the fact that people from right, left, center are addressing this matter as well. Well, it's about the copper, the core member actually, the NYC core member who made an outburst towards the president of Nigeria due to the economic realities, the economic hardships of the current time, which understandably is fine. But then many Nigerians have come out, to show support for her, as well as against. Definitely, that the way social media works, actually, many will be for, many will be against. Looking at the fact that some have come out to show solidarity with her, some have come out to talk about the fact that she's been wrong for coming out to make such vulgar statements about the president. Looking at the fact that she happens to be a core member. And one of the rules of being a core member within Nigeria as a country is that you dare not speak against the government due to the fact that they are employers, said at the point of registration and also at the orientation at the camps. Well, looking at this, we've also seen top personalities within the country, opposition parties, especially people like Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Yele Sowore was particularly on ground to even follow her to LGI, to show support for her, especially when she claimed that the NYSC official, the LGI of local government, ATS local government, threatened her, where she posted even the voice notes she had with her recently on her post on social media. Well, we'll be looking at the whole discussion today, and yes, to discuss with us, we have he's a political analyst, he's also a public affairs analyst in the person of Gbenga. Ajisafe, welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome to the show, sir.
It's a pleasure being here today. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you too. Nice to have you, actually, especially very much on this topical issue. Now, we're looking at Rai's rants actually on social media, and yes, the old statement she made and everything. Now, let's start from this. What do you see about the whole ranting she did recently over this whole issue?
Yeah, it's normal. Every average Nigerians, we say that it's a normal routine things that people have been saying. But what actually make it social influence is because he said he was a NYC copper, and that alone triggers so many things. And because there are some things that ordinarily you don't need to say because you have an oath, and there's a rules and guidelines that is guiding you. I think that is areas that is bringing out this ulubala, and the politicians also took advantage of it. The politicians have been saying it, but people have been saying it. Comedians have been making comment on it. So many people have been doing that, but it did not derive so much influence like these ones we are just talking about. Reason is because it was an NYC Corp members, and that shows a lot of things. That sends a lot of signals. And that is the major reason why we are here discussing about the issues. It's not the issues, it's been there ever since this government have been in place. After Tinubu came up with this subsidy removers, things have been coming up, these have been expensive. We all know that cost of living in Nigerians, not only in Ireland, have been expensive. So it shouldn't be now that nobody is just waking up and say, okay, things are expensive. People have known this for the past 2 years now. So it's not new to the Nigerians public. So, and that is that for that.
But do you think that she was right to have come out to rant actually?
No, you don't have for him to be under this scheme called NYC. I think they are being trained for such things. As a matter of fact, I remember one of the important things about NYC, and we call it endurance trekking. And when we want to trek, I remember when I was serving those days, we have to trek for mile. Some some of those core members then, or my mates, some of them fell and they cannot trek. But the major thing they want us to derive from that is just for us to be endured and to save money and to trek more, even in our daily routine. After that, they give us a day off to rest. The next day, the Corp commander in that camp come us and tell us all these things that school days are gone, that we have to face the reality, and the reality is for us to endure what is there for us to see. I think it's part of what is undergoing. You should be able to see the society at large. It's not when you are, he was saying it that before coming to Lagos or staying in Ireland, you don't feel all these things because you have the support of his parents. So many things are supporting, his uncles are supporting, but now those things are not coming in the way because people feel, okay, you can stand on your own, you started work, the government can feed you, and all the support is not coming up, and that is terrible to her. And those are the mindsets they want you to learn, that the world is not as rosy as it is. It's not as if everything will come up easily. So the 1 year scheme is for you to face the hardship, not just for you to enjoy. I think that is where he's missing it. It's part of the routine of the NYC that you should face the hardship and be able to find solution towards it. And that's why most of us that pass through that have so many things that we call community developmental projects that we intend doing before we leave that community. It's for him to find solution. That's why he's going there to serve. I think he's missing it up. It's for you to find solution to island that is smelling. What is your project? What's your area's project? What are those things that you are that you felt the people can do? Not only that, how do you impact your environment? I think all these are part of what you should put in consideration and start from now and start looking out to solve problem, not to create one. That is that about the scheme that is working under for that 1 year. You have a good, you set up that good between that year, do a write up, do some areas that you can work with so many social non-governmental organizations and see how you can solve 1 or 2 problems, not all, just one, as you can talk about when you are leaving service. That this I can beat my chest that I done that when I serve in social area, social year, and that is part of the scheme also.
That is part of the scheme also. But then many Nigerians have talked about the fact that is our ransom justified? Like, now let's talk a bit about the harsh economic realities in Nigeria. Do you think it's like normal? It's our right to talk about.
No, we have freedom of speech.
We have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
We have all
there's freedom, but there's freedom of assault also.
Freedom of assault in what aspect? What's your own perspective on the freedom?
They can label you for when you are speaking and you speak off. Somebody can label you for what you just said that is wrong about him. So you should be mindful of when you say you have freedoms. You have freedom, but there are some areas that the freedom stop. So you don't attack people's personality. There's something that you have to learn also when you speak out there. You must learn that the person that you are talking to can sue you for so many damages.
Yes.
So those are areas that you also should learn from. You can speak, but learn how to curtail what you want to say.
So you feel some of the statements she made were a bit vulgar?
He said something, he directed it to the president. He's a public officer. Tinubu is a public man. You can say those things to him personally. I mean, because he was sitting on a public seat, and that will not be an offense. I don't want to see that as an offense also. But people, based on where we came from, and as we have been trained, people see that as an assault because it's more older than the Corp member. So some people will stand and say, when he was saying it on that blue, the message, you are speaking to an adult person. You pull it down. he was trying to tell him that he's more older than the core member. So that is an African setting. It's not an European setting whereby you can speak and nobody sees as disrespectful. But in Africa, people, when you speak to people and people see it as if you are more like a daughter or like a son, they see it as a disrespectful act. So I think that is the area they say you should pull it down.
Due to the statement she made to the person of the president, by age, by public service, by everything.
He's a public man. Tinubu is a public man. There's so many people that say something bad about him. But that does not say Tinubu will discharge such people, because he's sitting on a public seat, and that seat alone he warrants such things to come up, because he's sitting on our national. He's the president. He's the president of the national health. So people, any problem that everybody have, if your wife give birth and you cannot pay school fees, you direct it to him. That is normal.
Okay, before we go past this particular conversation, earlier you stated that because she's a core member, that there are certain things that she's not supposed to say. But are you literally trying to say that as a core member, she's not allowed the right to vent at the government or the economy of the Nigeria, the situation of the country?
You have the right to vent. Nobody says no, you have the right. As a matter of fact, I was trying to check whether he's on his core member's uniform. He was putting on, but I found out that he's not there. But he stated it that because he was a core member, that's a lot. It brings a lot of things that people now start, okay, you're a core member and you receive so alawi, okay, and you are now saying okay. So, and for that, you know, people we say many things, we say a lot of things, but the first thing remains that he has the right to vent. And way and manners that he did that is a topic on his own, and that is why we are here. We are going to look at three things. The first thing is, he had the right of speech. Yes, he had the right of speech. Did she have the obligation to see whatever he felt is wrong? Yes, what he said is true. Yes, he had the right to do that. The third one, is there any law or rules permit her to do that? That is another question mark, and that is the question mark where most of his leaders will be saying, okay, you don't have.
You're a core member, you're not supposed to do this.
That. And
because the law actually states that.
Yes, I have given three exemplar things that the two, he had the two, basically. He had the right to speak, freedom of speech. Yes, he had the right.
According to the fundamental human rights of the country.
Is what he's saying, is it true?
Very true.
Is it fact? It's fact. It's fact. It's true. It's feasible. He's not saying it as if we are not part of it.
Of course, we all feel this.
We all feel it.
Everywhere, it's not only her.
I don't know the last time I told Gloria I'm fine, like actually very fine. So
yes. Always trying to be fine.
Everybody was trying to survive. And the president have come out to tell us that we are going to fail the hardship. It's not as if he kept saying that everything is okay. He said categorically that this measure will take a lot from us, and we've been seeing that a lot, and we cannot judge the fact that we Nigerians are not feeling the heat. As a matter of fact, nobody in Nigeria, even the so-called rich people, are feeling the heat because they service their gen, they buy most things we are buying, and they are feeling it also. So, but the commoners are feeling it more harder, and that's why he's saying it.
Yeah, speaking about the law that governs a core member not to address the government, a lot of speculation about that throughout yesterday and the other time. So he made me to do a research on my own to look for the bylaw of the NYSC, some places like that covers that, and what I saw was something far from it. I don't know if I can read out
read it out. Let's see.
the NYSC bylaw do not explicitly prohibit core members from criticizing the government. However, Section 3I of the NYSC bylaw 2011 states, any core member who addresses the press on any policy issue without written consent from the state coordinator shall be tried by the CAM court, and if found guilty, will be subject to an extension of service for 30 days with half pay. So I think this is the only place I saw that talked about NYSC addressing anything about, it did not even say the government, it said press on any policy issue. So I want to know, if I didn't check well, if there is any other place in the NYSC bylaw that states that an NYSC should not speak against, a core member should not speak against the government, because this is what I saw. It talked about press.
Yes, I think when we say policy is something that we've all agreed on. I say it's a matter of fact that NYSC is a compulsory for any graduating students. So whether you like it or not, you are part of this. You have accepted the policies. You agree to do that because it's a mandatory thing that you must do. And there's a clause, when you read that, there's a clause that stipulated that
if found guilty,
you must write.
Okay.
If you want to speak anything, you should see their consent. You know that they are preparing you
to understand the system works.
I think yes, how the system work. I think we should get this also. We should get this because you may find yourself in any organization tomorrow as a core member. As you felt, okay, you are leaving schools and somebody will give you immediate employment, and you find yourself in an organization and you feel the policy of those governments or policy of those organizations do not suit you, and you go out to start complaining. This way is complaining or ranting. You get it mixed. We'll mix it up because you need to follow the procedures. You need to have written to see a consent that you want to say something of this. If they give you a go ahead, that is good, because and that's why this clause we make them to call him or to call her and tell her that, look, it seems you are not reading this, or you do not think it twice to write us to tell us that you want to do such things, because unquote for this 1 year you are under NYSC schemes,
federal government property.
Of course, because if anything go against you, the federal government took
responsibilities for
all those things, because there is no core member that has been kidnapped or rape or do anything bad, that abuse, that the government will not stand and defend us.
Such a person.
Or such a person. So you are working under that organization. You are still part of them. So there's no how you say something is bad and now you came out and say the man is not doing well. Yes, we all agree that the man is not doing well. But the fact is still that there's some clause that give you rooms not to do such things or to do such things. So you should check those things and verify. Maybe you have liberty to do that.
So if I'm understanding you very clearly, the girl had a great point.
Yes.
She had the right to vent.
Yes.
She had the right to complain, because accordingly, from the economic harsh realities of the country, everybody is feeling it. And like you rightly said, even the president told us that we are going to feel it actually, and yes, we are really feeling it. But then, here's the thing. You also made it known to a very large extent that according to the law that guides, there's a rule that guides her at this particular time. She shouldn't have been made to make this statement until she got a written agreement from the state coordinator before she can, take permission, which normally, understandably, many companies, not even the federal government, have the same policies, because even when you get to the labor markets and you begin to work with organizations, there are policies laid down which we must learn to also work by and all. But now let's talk a bit at the claims of a threat by the NYSC LGI, that is the local government inspector, that called to take down the video and all that. Now, do you really feel there was a threat from the LGI looking at that particular video?
No, it's just, it's not a threat. They don't say, okay, when we say threat, you mean if you don't put that thing down, forget your certificate. Nobody give condition.
So again,
nobody say
what we had.
Yes, what we had, that we should have to take to consider on what we heard.
What we had.
What we heard is very important. He said, "Can you put that down? We heard that. Can you put that down?" I mean, removing the clip or the videos. I mean,
take down the rubbish.
That is. Take down the rubbish, okay. Take down the rubbish.
The LGI was a bit vulgar too with the statements towards the young.
Yeah, because he herself have a query. It's an organization that is working directly. They will ask her.
That is the LGI.
Yes, the LGI. So
the LGI reacted because
he was also somebody must have called her. Maybe somebody will have called her. Are you not in charge of? So say yes.
Maybe a local government.
I say go and check that. So he's also sitting on a hot seat. So you shouldn't say maybe he knows. Maybe the person who are calling they have also received a call directing her that go tell that
young girl to take down
to put it down, and that is instruction from the above. So that they warrant the woman to call in that direction, that put that thing down. I think that was where he say they've been threatening her. So these are things that we also must look into. We should not just conclude that the woman just called, because I don't believe that I don't believe that the woman called. It was a superior guy that would have called that woman to talk to her so that he can to control
the lady. Yes. But do you think she should have gone through a better approach that wouldn't have cost social media rants? Because I was saying something which I'm not very impressed with. This one is just my own personal opinion. I wasn't impressed with. I began to see people also go and look for the facts, informations about the woman. That is the LGI that called the young lady and was also calling her back to threaten her and curse her and all those kind of things. You know the way social media has been since 2022. Everybody is angry. So do you think that the LGI would have used a wiser means of just trying to get her to take down the video? Maybe just invite her without even just let me see you at the LGI office, that's all. Another, there are times they do that to us in secondary school. Just could tell us that the principal is calling you. So you might not even know why the principal actually called you. You just know you go to the office definitely, and then you get your own stuff there. So do you think the LGI should have used a wiser means of that sort to solve that whole issue?
I think he did. He did. That is where you see you saw Shuwere going.
But the whole issue has happened before.
It has escalated. That is why Shuwere went.
I think when he was receiving that call, he put it on record, and that alone, and he put it up again to the social media so that people can see how they have called. I think it's more or less he want to invite her to talk to her. I think that's what she intend doing, but he felt he can't just say it without not putting that little bit of anger.
I think that is where we say that two wrongs cannot make a right.
Mathematics sometimes says the same different thing, minus times
minus. But that is mathematics, boy. In a race of life.
Intentionally, he want to invite her, the lady in question. I think that was what the idea want to do. He want just to invite the lady in question, but in the midst of inviting, he say first put that thing down.
Put that rubbish down.
Yeah, put that rubbish down.
Shut up your mouth.
Shut up your mouth.
You're talking to your elder.
That is African setting. He was saying that put that in. That is the whole thing that you want to talk to her is if you come to the office, put that thing down. That is part of what you want to discuss. But he said unknowingly that it was being recorded, and that is another issue. So, and it's escalated to this level that she would have to come to the office because you have to come on Monday to come and express solidarity, bring some lawyers so that people can see that he was threatening or he want to be. No, I still want to believe that after all have been done, the lady in question will still pull out that thing down and answer to some query. I see, because it's not as if bringing lawyers. It's about, is these rules guiding us? If it's yes, you don't have any option.
Speaking about the fact that the people in question, the LGI and the other people in office, were not around when Showore and the Corp member went there, but a lot of speculation is that they ran away. So do you think that they feel that they did something wrong, maybe by threatening the girl, and because the girl said it's not one person that called, others sent messages and the rest of the things? Do you think that they did not want this to be at the heat of the moment, so they just left for the thing to calm down, or they don't know their rights or how to stand on it?
I want to believe that it will bring a lot of issues again. You know, we started with these things called social media. You go on air to say something bad about the person, and the next thing you have sympathies that people say, okay, what you did is right, and the next thing is you want to go to office and answer some query. You bring your lawyers, you bring medias, you want them to comfort your boss. Your boss will feel, okay, since it is that way, it's better we go and consult our lawyer also, so that we don't go astray. I think that is the best thing. They have to leave the scene
at that particular time
for them not to create another scene. I think that's why they leave office for that period. They have to sit down and go back and search whether areas that they have gone wrongs, and because it's going to bring a lot of legal battles. So and they have to be prepared not to say something off tracks. So, and that's why they have to leave
at that particular time.
Room for
the tension to calm
down. They will still invite her. I want to believe they will still invite her.
Well,
without no media this time.
Well, without no media this time, hopefully. That is if without no media this time, because she's already a social media trend actor. She herself has become a trend. Everybody's talking about her at the moment and all that. But then I have like two or multiple, let's say 3-4 questions to ask. But before we go there, because you've been talking about African, it's just the African setting. We'll get there, but then we have to first go for Gold Start. After Gold Start, we come straight back to this discussion. As we always say, Gold Start is just one of those places you can do to you understand that you can start something with the little that you have. That is what we teach you on Gold Start. So enjoying Gold Start for today, which we also do to inspire you to do something so that you will not be stranded in this particular economy as we speak. So enjoying Gold Start. When we are back from Gold Start, we'll continue straight to our discussions for today. So please stay with us right back. Welcome back to the show of Just Genesis to Daybreak Africa. I hope you're enjoying Gold Start. I hope you've learned something, and I hope you're going to take action on what we have just inspired it with on Gold Start today. But then it's time to go back to our discussion, especially on the rants on the young lady on social media actually. And yes, looking at everything she said, we have been analyzing it, and thankfully Gbenga Ajisafe has been bringing us to a bit of perspective on this. And yes, I didn't even see the perspective. You even talked about the LGI who made contact with her. I like the fact that we're able to put perspective that for her to have spoken that way, it shows someone already made the call, and it was from the heights of that pressure she made the statement to the young lady. But there is something that I think you said that I need to ask about a bit. You talked about the fact that it's just the African setting. Sometimes in the African setting, the elder seems to when they look at the younger speaking back at them and all that, this respect system. Must it be like that all the time? I remember recently someone was telling us that elders don't even say sorry or know how to talk respectfully to the younger ones. Actually, that is the younger ones that we are putting the old. Cultures are changing these days. Looking at the Gen Z culture, so must it be like that always in the African setting?
Africans, we are known for our cultures, and our cultures give us the value we are today and what we became in future. There's a saying that any country that lost its culture lost its value. So that is our only one identity that we can use to identify ourselves in any place we find ourselves in the world. I want to tell you this, that the moment we lose that, we will not get it right. There's a way we talk to others in Africa, and we can get it anywhere. We don't abuse them, but we talk to them politely. And that's why so many people will say, pull it down, pull it down. We can talk to them in a harsh way, but we still talk to them without not insulting their intelligence or insulting them in personal. we tell them that we felt the country can be better under you, sir. We think you can do better than this, sir. But the way things are now, you are not doing that much, sir. We still believe that you can do better than this, sir.
That's so respectful, actually.
Very, 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 very respectful.
You are still saying the same thing.
What kind of frustrated? I think that's frustrated.
When you start saying, idiot, stupid,
But she actually did not use a kind of direct insult like that. You know, it's actually said that an hungry man is an angry man. So do you think that at the level at which things are in the country now, that there is anybody who is not a politician's daughter or politician's son who literally they're not feeling the heat of what an ordinary man is feeling, can be that respectful? Do you think it is possible, no matter the level of self-control that your family had instilled in you?
We have so many people that are fed so bad. No, we are not getting it. Something we've not gotten it. We should be able to get it here, so that we not send bad signals to the public. We have a lot of Nigerians that are crying.
Yeah.
More than what he's saying.
Of course.
No, we should get that right. We have millions. You cannot underestimate it. We have about 200 and something millions Nigerians. I will tell you for free that we have about 100 millions of Nigerians crying more than what he's saying.
Of course.
But they are not an NYSC members. Are we getting it now?
Yeah.
They are not under any obligation. They are not any under rules that force them not to speak their mind. We have a lot of civil servants that are crying. We have a lot of police officers, armies, military men. They are feeling the same heat
that we are feeling.
They are feeling it. Civil servants, we are saying that they are working for government. They are also feeling it. But people just keep quiet because they have rules and they are obedient to those rules. And that is what they are telling this youth. We are part of it. We should not run away from it. I told us earlier that the schemes was designed to prepare a graduate for a greater things.
So, don't you think that we were made for the rules and the rules were not made for us? Because if I want to ask, don't you think that if people continue to be like, I am an officer, I am from the correctional service, from the police department and the rest, but things are literally really going out of hand and they still want to remain under the law and not to speak up, even when the Constitution in section 39 had said that there is freedom of speech. Do you think that is wrong? Even the Bible says, the Holy Book says that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Don't you think that it is wrong for a lot of Nigerians or citizens from any walks of life to continue to be silent because they have been governed by one body or the other and not speak out when things are wrong?
I think we should get something clear. I should get it for facts. If you are tired of a particular organizations, you can resign
so that you can now speak.
No, when you have time, you can start telling them that when you are there, they did this, they did that. That is normal. But you cannot be in the place that you have signed up and you sign to accept their policies and their rules, and you now say they did not force you to come there in the first place. Because we are not saying this because we want to teach our youth out there so that they will know that there is no place you find yourself in an organization. The moment you pick your pen and you start writing up, apply, and the organization tells you the rules and regulations that guide those places you are coming in, and you come in and you start say, I will not take it to, it doesn't work anywhere. Even in the free town, even in the free country, you said you want to protest. That's why you have unions. You can only protest your agitation through the unions.
Through the unions.
Yes.
And the union will now communicate it to the other authority. I understand.
The union will now agitate what you discuss together. It's not as if you come, what you are saying is not affecting you alone. It's affecting the whole NYC core members. So how can't you come up with a group and say, okay, we in social place, we felt tired of this thing. It should be better that way. And you write a communique. I get it now. To show your grievances. And if you are doing that, it will give you a lot of rooms for you to know how things are working when you leave NYC. Because tomorrow you will find yourself in an organization that you are still going to take similar step. Most of you are going to be in Air Force. Some of them we are going to be in Army. Some of them we are going to be immigrations. You are going to find yourself in all these organizations set up for us as a youth to work in. So if you find yourself in those organizations and you are going to grow up to become the MD or the controller general
of those places, how do you control such things? So these are things you have to learn as youth also, so that we not just see it as if it's not feasible for us to achieve. It's feasible for us to achieve, but we have to learn it and grow to know how to fight such things.
Yeah, very well. Sorry.
Okay.
It's about when you talked about communicating to unions. Still on this program, we had someone who talked about the people who submit to the president, who are always saying, well, if the president says, how is it? It's going well, sir. It's going well, sir. Just because they don't want to say something that might take food out of their mouth. In situations like when your union are not communicating your grievances to the power that be, don't you think there is always a possibility of blowing out of proportion, or there's possibility of an outbreak when your union is not reporting to the appropriate quarters?
It's true, you can blow
out of proportion.
Yes, out of proportion. But the fastest way to agitate and the government will listen is for you to come as a group. There's no man that is an island. You work in a particular organization, and if you felt this thing affects all of us, we should come together and see how we can solve those things. I think there's a lot that they can do with these social media of things than just sitting down and say, okay, how do we communicate with other members of core members? We can call them. We have CDS. We have a place where we gather every Thursday.
Yes.
We have place that from there we can catapult to the state level and say we want to have a meeting, and we come around and have a meeting and say, okay, these are things we want to agitate for. And I want to bet you the government will listen to them, because they are a group, not an individual. Today you are talking about him alone. He's fighting for the whole core member. Are there with him? No. Most of them we sit at the back and say, okay, you are on your own, because you take decision without taking permission from us. You take decision without not taking permission from us, and that's why it's somehow it's good for you to come as a group. So if you want to discipline all of us, let us go for 1 month, for 30 days, and stay one extra than disciplining one person. So I think we also should learn. That's why we are grooming to be in these systems and how the system works. I think from there we can correct the system also. We know the institution is faulty. How do we correct the system? How do we correct the institution and make it better? And these are areas that we need to work on.
Well, looking at it, I was even about to ask the question about the unions and all that. But I want to just ask a question, because one of the points you raised was the fact that the 3,000 the core members are receiving at this particular time, where the economy is, it's kind of callous and all those kind of things. Now, I'm not channeling this to the federal government alone now, because I know even when it comes to minimum wage, even state governors here are supposed to be in sync. There are still some states in Nigeria that are not even yet paying the 30k minimum wage that the federal government has aligned with before. Some of them are still paying 18. Some are just getting to the 30k. Not to now even talk of the 70k. And core members, according to Kazawi, who happens to be their DG, said it's already supposed to be 77,000 as at last year. This is March 2025. Don't you think it's high time the federal government should have just let that become a law whereby core members should be receiving their 77,000, because let's be very sincere with ourselves.
Or make the law stand.
Let's be very sincere that 33K now is not even, many can't even spend for a week. A personal man can't spend that for a week in a place like Lagos. We all know how Lagos is. Lagos transportation alone. Whether you use Uber or you don't use Uber, even if you use BRT and train, 33,000 will finish in 1 week, because we know common buses in Lagos will take you over 2,000 sometimes to get to some locations. So how do you think the government should come in? Don't you think it's taking too long to work on some policies? Look at the policy they talked about last year too as well, that they are going to remove tariffs on imported food, so that food can be plenty in the nation for a particular period of time. Till today, it has not seen the light of day. So what do you think the government should do at this particular time? Because something needs to be done to the very high cost of living.
Yeah, I think this is also sending a lot of signals to the federal government to take some bold steps. One is to cut down what we call expenses of this federal government, these political office holders. We should call that expensive of government spending, so that we have enough money to put into these areas that we intend doing the right things. The right thing is to increase the NYC minimum salary wages, so that these young graduating students will not fail along the way because of serving their father's land. I want to believe that this is also a call to work for the president to call on whoever is in charge to implement such immediately, because I want to believe that this same 70,000 is part of the budget that the government this administration has submitted.
Passed.
Yes, so I don't want to see it as if money is not there. So we should pay these people their money and let peace reign between them, and let them serve with diligence and with utmost respect for the nations, so that they can defend the nations and serve the country diligently. I think that will go a long way for the president to do the needful.
But let me ask a question that is very tricky. Actually, it came out when this discussion was happening actually, and one of the things that someone asked the question that should they scrap the NYSC program, looking at the current economic situations of Nigeria? From your own perspective, do you think?
I think we have to go back to histories and see why do we have the NYSC in the beginning. What is the purpose of Gowon bringing NYSC? It's because of disunity in Nigeria. There's no trust, there's no there's no brotherlyhood things in Nigerians, and that's why Gowon have to implement it far back in 1976, so that we should start having a common faces, a common brotherlyhood things, and that reason is the major reason why this NYSC. That's why you see people serving in the school in the north come down to the south, and those who in the south go to the north, just to show you how united we are. And other things for you to learn. We talk about culture the other time, so for you to learn their culture. You study here in the south and you don't have the knowledge of what cultures they did there in the north. So you have the privilege of seeing that for 1 year. Other thing is for you to provide solutions. I said it earlier on that NYC is not just about service, it's about you to see areas that you can provide solutions. That's why you have CDS, community development, you have projects that you can do, personal development things that you can do. They have a lot of non-governmental organizations that come around to help, to equip you to be self-reliant, some to help you to see for future good. So all these things are coming up. So many opportunities come about because they want to prepare you to the challenge outside there. So these are things that we should also take from this. That there's no how you finish, you graduated, and there's no scheme to teach you, to orientate you to the larger world. I think the scheme is good. We should not throw it away. I think it's going to propel the younger ones to see all these things that they intend to face after schools. I think it's a good scheme. I think we should continue with it. I want to believe that those our founding father that discovered it, they don't just discover it for merry-go-round. It's a thing of joy that when you serve your fatherland, you give you pride. You give you that. I remember when we served them, they say you see them marching with the heart of joy. It's a merry thing. They come about when they are marching, they march with joy in their heart, and they have this thing that they normally smile and have it. They are proud to serve their fatherland, and that thing alone cannot be underestimated. So we should allow it to come up, so that our children, unborn children, can see how the Nigerians are in different diversity, languages and cultures, and we help us to grow as a nation also.
And to help us to grow as a nation also. Well, I think I like your perspective towards many of these discussions actually, because you made me see it from different lights, which to a very large extent I think but I just hope that this whole economic hardship comes to an end anytime soon, at least sometime soon, because honestly, even with myself, we are feeling it actually. We're really feeling the heat on all those kind of things. I never knew that it's going to get to this level, but I think, well, it's going to take a bit of time. But let me just ask this, because I think as a crescendo a bit, time is fast spent a bit. I wanted to ask more on the whole issue of even the political bigwigs that jumped into the whole matter and all that. I know that would have been your major point of interest, but in 1 minute, do you think their jumping on the matter was genuine, or it's just for the political clout?
It's for the political class. They have their own interests.
It's straightforward.
They have their own interests. Those people, they come up. It's not as if President Tinubu is a good man. No, it's not as if he's doing the right thing. No, we all disagree with so many of his policies. We are not happy with it. But people should not just come out and say, no, we don't want political interests. These people are former candidates of different political parties, and they came out to fight for that office, and because they did not win, they start having issue with the major policy that the present government is doing. So they should not just say they are soliciting because they felt they want somebody to support them. No, we don't want that. We want them to come out with possible solution. I will tell it categorically that we want people to write and give us possible solutions that Nigeria can come out of these problems, and say it the way it is. Tell the government today, go online podcast, do a press conference, and tell us what do you think, what areas, one, not just take 10, just one, and tell us how the president can solve those problems, and that will solve a lot of problems. And that's why any government that came in will say, let's come together and foster these countries. It's not as if today somebody must win, and if you have won that election, we all must come together and work for it to succeed. If you bring one agenda and you said, look, Mr. President, work on this agenda, I believe it will work, and you keep on hammering on that agenda for 4 years, I want to believe you. I want to tell you this, that the president will have no choice than to work on it. And this is how we can grow as a nation. We should not be castigating people and look for any slice miss and say, okay, we want to use it to showcase ourselves, to showcase our political class that we are here. So where are you all this while? It's true now. What have you done?
One way or the other, they've also been in government.
Yeah, most of them have been in government. What have you done when you are there? So we shouldn't be using it as a yardstick for them to come out and tell us that the president is doing bad.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga, for being a part of this. We really appreciate this discussion with you. Yeah, I just hope that this whole discourse just dies down gradually on social media, and the necessary changes are made as we speak. President Tinubu, it's high time at least you did something to ease the hardship. We know you have been planning on cash transfers, you've been trying to give the poorest of the poor, but then please, something else needs to be done to ensure that at least the inflation goes low. And for the core members out there, please ensure that the 77,000 is given to them at this particular time. You don't expect anyone to live off that 3,000. Even you yourself can't even live off it for
0 minutes.
For 0 minutes, you finish that money within a speed. Just imagine one do battery for 25k. Now minus 33,000, that's 8,000 remaining. You can't get your comeback. So definitely, it's not going to work. But then, thank you, Mr. Gbenga, for being a part of this. We really appreciate this.
It's my pleasure being here.
Yeah, it's time to go for sports. After sports, we come back to say our goodbyes on Daybreak Africa. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.